Now you're reviewing with power! Modern games, retro games, what's the difference? I'm here to review games, and make a complete fool out of myself in the process. Whether a gem or a turd, I'll show you these games inside and out. You ready? Balrog's Nintendo Game Room. Alright, so if you haven't guessed already, I bought a Wii U a couple weeks ago. So whenever I tell someone I actually bought the system, the first questions they ask are, is it more powerful than the Xbox? What's that fancy tablet used for? Is Nintendo doomed? Well today, I'm going to answer all those questions in a single video, by reviewing the deluxe pack-in game known as Nintendo Land. Why didn't I pre-order? Why didn't I? So when you start up the game, you're greeted by a robot park guide, simply known as Monita, who pretty much just teaches you the basics. In total, there are 12 mini-games in the park, with 6 being single-player, 3 being multiplayer, and another 3 that are both. The more you play these games, the more coins you earn for an extra pachinko-style minigame that'll get you some pretty cool stuff in the park, such as music or statues. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics. So instead of giving you a normal review of fun, I'm gonna go through all 12 minigames and give each one a score and let you know what each one's like. So, ready? And let's go! Nailed it. Number 1 is Takamaru's Ninja Castle, inspired by the Famicom-only The Mystery of Murasame Castle. In this game, you use the gamepad to swipe shurikens at incoming paper ninjas. The objective is to take out as many ninjas as possible, while keeping up a combo by maintaining your accuracy. It's not anything mind-blowing, and I'll admit it's a bit shallow in the strategy department, but it's an addicting and challenging game, which kinda reminds me of Fruit Ninja or any of those mini pie-pad pip games. Check. Number 2 is Luigi's Ghost Mansion. Okay, no, that wasn't scary. In this game, 1 to 4 players, armed with a flashlight, scurry around a dark Pac-Man-like room, while the gamepad user is a ghost. Long story short, the ghost scares the living crap out of everyone, while the players try to dwindle down his HP using their flashlights with a limited battery supply. For a multiplayer game, I can simply say this was loads of fun, since it's all suspense and scare tactics. Definitely worthy of a check plus. Number 3 is Captain Falcon's Twister Race. Now being the first F-Zero game in about, 9 years? This game had a lot to live up to. Are we able to go those breakneck speeds, crash into other players, and undergo crazy obstacles? Oh man, the enjoyment! Oh. No. No. This is F-Zero? I don't even care if this is only a minigame. I don't care that this is tilt controlled, but you can't make the game super slow and control Captain Falcon with a top-down perspective. It's not even close to resembling the actual series, not to mention just boring to play. This is, unfortunately, a spit in the face to F-Zero fans and one of the worst games of the bunch. Check minus. Number 4 is Animal Crossing Sweet Days. Now I'll admit, this is one of the most relaxing multiplayer games I've ever played. 2 to 4 players go around collecting candy in their hats? While avoiding the gamepad user, which controls 2 guards trying to knock some candy out of them. The more candy you get, the slower you go, so you have to be more and more careful of these guards as you progress in the game. Once again, another fantastic party game. Check plus. Number 5 is Balloon Trip Breeze, a faithful recreation of the original NES game. In a nutshell, all you do is use your Mii to collect balloons and avoid spikes while tapping away at some obstacles on the gamepad. It's very fun and goes far beyond what its predecessor did, even though by today's standards that doesn't mean too much. In the end, it just comes down to swiping your screen the right way, but I still think it's a fun distraction nonetheless. Check. Number 6 is The Legend of Zelda Battle Quest. In this game, you're tasked with taking down enemies and retrieving the Triforce. This can be done by either being a swordsman with the Wii Remote, or an archer using the gamepad. But either way, you're on rails. Now I know a lot of people will complain about this, but it gives the game kind of a Time Crisis type feel to it. Focus on shooting and swinging, and you're golden. This is also one of the 3 minigames that have mission modes along with their multiplayer, giving players even more of a reason to come back on their own and hone their skills. In conclusion, I had a blast with this mode, but I felt like this game could have been more than just swinging a sword or shooting arrows. Check. Number 7 is Yoshi's Fruit Cart, which is actually one of my lesser favorite games. There's fruit scattered all over the screen, and you have to swipe lines at the exit that pick up all the fruit along the way. Now the only thing holding this back from being a freaking connect the dots test is that when you sketch the line, you can't see what's on screen on the gamepad. This means guesstimating where you want Yoshi to go and the amount of gas you have. Trust me, it's a lot less cooler than it sounds, and I got bored of it very fast. Check minus. Number 8 is Pikmin Adventure, and oh man, I love this one. Sure, it may just be a simplified version of Pikmin, but there isn't anything wrong with that. You pick blocks, collect nectar, and toss around Pikmin with Olimar using the gamepad, or even play as a Pikmin with the Wiimote. And the main enemy is actually Dark Monita. It's so adorable! Now, similar to Battle Quest, this game also has its own single-player adventure, with a considerable amount of missions to keep you occupied. Long story short, this game may be Pikmin light, but it's downright addicting and fun. Check plus. Number 9 is Octopus Dance, my least favorite attraction in the entire game. While the other games at least tried to innovate, this game is literally just moving the analog stick and tilting the system to the beat. And before you go, oh Balrog, that sounds a lot like Rhythm Heaven, why you hating on it, bro? While at least Rhythm Heaven had some sort of charm to it, this game has absolutely nothing to do with the Game & Watch series besides having a handful of sprites and models. And though the game does work, it's bland, unimaginative, and just boring to play. Check minus. Number 10 is Metroid Blast, one of the most hardcore games in the whole bunch. As expected, you follow in the footsteps of Samus, and you have the choice of either controlling her ship with the gamepad or running around in a morph suit by foot. Now the interesting thing I found about this ship is that it had 3 degrees of motion. Instead of just using the left analog to move and the right one to aim, the right analog actually moves the ship up or down, while you aim using the gamepad's gyroscope. It's an interesting new way to control, well, anything in a video game, and even though it does take a few hours to get used to, I definitely prefer this over traditional controls. Anyway, there's once again tons of missions to tackle, either on foot or in the ship, as well as multiplayer modes that'll be as close as you get to a deathmatch in these games. All of these modes are fantastic, and if this is a taste of what's to come for the series, I'm already chucking my money. You hear that? You hear it, Retro Studios? Check plus. Number 11 is Donkey Kong's Crash Course, without a doubt the hardest game in the whole bunch. Your screen is made up of a huge obstacle course, where you magically transform into a wagon and roll across to the finish line. The gamepad zooms in on where you're going, and you tell the controller to get where you want to go. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, there's an insane amount of contraptions in this maze that'll make you die again and again and again, since your wagon breaks so easily. This game is so hard. I wish you came with straps, you know that? But even though the difficulty is so high, this is definitely my obsession of the bunch. Check plus. And last but not least is Mario Chase, the best multiplayer game of them all. Essentially, it's, well, tag. The gamepad user takes control of Mario, which must run away from 4 Wiimote using Toads, while Mario can see them and the Toads can't see Mario. The trick is that the Toads need to work together to find Mario's location, and trust me, it's way more redeeming and fun than it sounds. Add in a couple extra maps and you got the perfect party game for your new system. Check plus. Awesome, so that's 6 check pluses, 3 checks, and 3 check minuses. And at least to me, these minigames easily surpassed my expectations. So, I'm gonna go ahead and round out to a check plus. Next up is looks, and oh man, this game looks fantastic. The environments, the polish, the textures, they all look so clean, and I've never seen a Nintendo game with this much charm. It's almost overwhelming in a way, even though we've had HD graphics on consoles for over 6 years. The only problems I had though were due to the gamepad itself. When you control your character in the Mii Plaza, you have to tilt the gyroscope around, which tilts the screen in crazy directions, which kinda makes me motion sick. Not to mention there's a lot of games that require you looking at the gamepad at all times, which don't let you appreciate the amazing HD graphics. Ugh. Besides those gripes though, this game is just plain gorgeous. Check. Now sound-wise, I was thoroughly impressed. Almost all the game's songs are remixes from old Nintendo games, and they fit each game nearly perfectly. They won't be on your iPod or anything, but they definitely set the mood. Check. And fourth up is length. Now you're getting 12 in-depth minigames for $60, or free if you aren't me, with unlockable goodies and a good time with your friends. The only major gripe I had was the lack of online play. Seriously Nintendo, you make such a huge deal about the Miiverse and connecting with other players around the world to the point that they walk around your game plaza telling you how much fun they're having, and you can't play with them? That's not just disappointing, it's almost ironic and defeats the purpose of the plaza. Despite this, however, the game's still chock full of content. Check. In conclusion, Nintendo Land fulfilled its purpose. It shows off what the Wii U can do, familiarizes people with the gamepad, and most importantly, makes for an incredibly fun party game. Now if you were stuck with the basic bundle, or you have a couple buddies to play with, then I wholeheartedly recommend this game to you. Otherwise, if you're just going to play solo, be aware that you can only play about half of these games to their full extent. So, I'm going to give this game a check, and good. I'm never going to learn how to do this. There. I don't even care anymore. Alright, well that concludes my review. As usual, if you like what you see, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll be back very soon with a review of New Super Mario Bros. U. So while you wait for that, and for me to get this hat on, you can check out my videos right here and see if there's anything you like. I got Pokemon and Pokemon. I got lots of stuff. So, I'm just gonna sing until you click something, though I don't know if that'll discourage you. Do 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 do. Ba da ba 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 da ba da 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 dun 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 do 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 do. Ba do ba do ba ba boo 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 do boo boo boo. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba ba. Bop bop. Wow. This thing's already annoying.